Hello, my name is Samantha and I work in Scariff Library and I'm going to read you a Halloween story. The book I chose is The Orchard Book of Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts and Other Magical Stories by Martin Waddell and Tony Ross. And it's published, by Orchard. Okay, Dancing with Francie. Eileen McMahon lived on Shark Island. She was queen of the island at dancing, for she had a light body and feet that were quick. When she danced, her eyes sparkled and shone with the love of the dance that was in her. It put heart in the old ones, just watching her dance, and she set them all tapping their feet. It wasn't Eileen's way to be dancing alone, for that's not what dancing's about. She danced with all the young men at first, but as time went by, she settled on one man alone, Francie Gorman. Dancing leads naturally to this and to that, and before long the young couple had fallen in love. They were as happy as young lovers can be, and soon to be married, but it all went wrong. Death came when they didn't expect it, and death put an end to their dreams. It happened this way. One warm night in April, Francie Gorman set off in his boat to catch fish. He cast his net, and the good fish came into it so well that he paid little heed to what was happening all around him. As he fished, the air grew cold and then icy, and a bitter wind blew, so he had to haul in his net and row for the shore. The wind ripped up the sea. The waves caught his boat and tossed it about as if it was an eggshell, then turned it over. Francie went down in the waves and was drowned. That was the end of poor Francie. His wet corpse was washed up on the sand with seaweed in his dark curly hair. Eileen McMahon found him. She had been searching the shores of Shark Island in the hope that he'd been saved, but he hadn't. Her cries brought the Gormans down to the shore, and they lifted Francie's body up onto a cart that belonged to his brother. Young Eileen walked by the side of the cart as they pulled him home. She held her head low and wept for the loss of the man she had loved like no other, for he was the love of her life. The Gormans mourned with Eileen when Francie was buried, 6 feet underground, his feet pointing out to the sea. That night, Francie Gorman slept alone in his grave, and Eileen walked alone by the sea. The two didn't meet, for how could they, while Francie was dead, buried and under the ground? The poor girl was never the same after that, for the light had gone out of her life. So it was, till the end of November, the very last day of the month. Eileen went down into the dark to the shore and sat alone by the sea that had taken her man, and she waited. She knew Francie would come, for the last night of November is the night when the dead have their dance on Shark Island. Eileen heard soft music, the notes of a pipe and fiddle. She followed the sound till she came to where all the dead of the island were dancing, their faces as pale as the moonlight around them. Francie Gorman was there, all by himself with no partner. He looked much as he had looked when he was alive, but he was a ghost, a pale ghost, whose dark eyes filled with tears when he saw Eileen running to him. "Go back, Eileen," Francie called. "You shouldn't be here." "I came here to dance, and we're dancing," she said, and she took the poor ghost in her arms. They danced with eyes for no one but each other. They danced on, clinging together until the dance ended. "You must go back to the living, Eileen," Francie said. "Just one more dance, Francie," she said, and they danced again to the soft music, with the dead dancing all round them till the music stopped once again. "Eileen," he whispered, "go now. You don't belong with the dead." "I belong next to you," Eileen said. They danced and they danced and they danced, and Eileen stayed in the ring of the dancing dead people as long as the soft music played. Eileen came home at dawn the next morning with her long hair all damp from the dew. She walked into the house and lay down on her bed without even changing her clothes. "She's white as a ghost," said her mother, and she feared at once that Eileen was dying. All the long day the poor woman sat by her daughter's bed. The neighbours came into the McMahon's house. They tried to help, but there was no hope. The wise woman came with her herbs, and the priest came to anoint Eileen, and all the good folk came and spoke to her. in the hope that their kind words would rouse her. Sometimes it seems that she listened and heard what they said, but sometimes it seemed that she was listening to something that they could not hear. Then, as the moon rose, the sound of soft music came again from the shore and spread round the house. It was soft as a whisper. Only Eileen could hear it. They say she gave her life for her love, but the neighbours won't hear it, said that she's dead, although she's been coffined and laid in the grave, and her mass has been said by the priest. They say she's gone dancing with Francie instead. She always loved dancing with Francie. The end.